On our broadcast tonight, a triple threat from what's turned out to be an unpredictable winter storm. Pounding snow, 60-mile-an-hour winds, now the danger of flooding, and evacuations are underway tonight along the already torn-up Atlantic coast. Sounding the alarm about nightmare superbugs in our hospitals, now in 42 states, highly contagious, deadly, and drug-resistant. We'll have the new warning tonight. Sharp disagreement over allowing knives back on airplanes. Tonight, federal air marshals are saying not so fast. And Bay of Light, after 75 years in the shadow of the Great Golden Gate, finally a chance to shine. Nightly News begins now.
From NBC News World Headquarters in New York, this is NBC Nightly News with Brian Williams.
Good evening, and for a lot of folks in the eastern U.S., here we go again. Take a look at a live picture from Point Pleasant, New Jersey. An angry Atlantic Ocean, winds expected to gust to 60 miles an hour before it's all over. And while there is really good news tonight for the folks where this winter storm didn't pan out, the bad news is it covers a wide area. Some places are getting a lot more precipitation than they expected. It's bringing a lot of trouble to a lot of people. That includes snow. Hundreds of thousands of people without power in 8 states. It shut down federal offices in Washington today. And as we mentioned, this is going to be a nervous night up and down the seaboard with tonight's high tide. And then again tomorrow, the shoreline so torn up from Hurricane Sandy. And in some places, driven by high winds and big waves, the water is already coming onto land. NBC's Tom Costello is at Dulles International Airport outside D.C., which got about 5 inches of snow. Tom, good evening.
Yeah, Brian, good evening. Not so much. They call this heart attack snow. It is wet and it is heavy. The expectation that Washington was going to get hammered caused the airlines to cancel flights, schools, government offices all closed. And while Washington was largely spared, out west, it is a different story. What a difference 70 miles and a little elevation can make. Front Royal, Virginia, covered in 17 inches of a wet, heavy March snow. Enough to turn roads dangerous, sidewalks impassable.
Our car is actually stuck, so we're trying to move it.
Western Maryland and Virginia both got buried. Power outages up and down the mid-Atlantic. Nearly 200,000 without power in Virginia alone, where the governor declared a state of emergency. In Chicago today, a roof collapse under the weight of yesterday's snow. Parts of Ohio and Pennsylvania also hit hard. More than 2,000 flights canceled from the East Coast to the Midwest. D.C.'s National Airport, a ghost town. Delays system-wide, averaging 1 to 3 hours.
I'm supposed to fly home tonight, so I'm hoping I can get home tonight.
The same storm was supposed to bury the nation's capital in the biggest storm in 2 years. To prepare, government offices and schools closed down, but the capital got more slush than snow. What happened?
We just didn't have the cold air that we needed to produce a snow event here at the Capitol. It was not produced by the storm, and it did not come in from the storm.
But along the New Jersey and New York shorelines torn apart by Hurricane Sandy, voluntary evacuations today. Mike Murtha is on Long Island.
Everybody on the shore is anxious right now. The water comes up, we're all going to take another pounding.
WCAU reporter Jesse Gray is near Atlantic City.
Here along the Jersey coast, this is more of a wind event than a rain event. As a matter of fact, it's not raining right now, but the wind is blowing. 40 miles per hour, sustained, gusting to above 50 miles an hour.
Back in Virginia, cleanup from what may be the last and only snowstorm of the year. Meteorologists are saying that this is an example of why the U.S. needs a better supercomputer for forecasting. Brian, the European model essentially said that for D.C. this was going to be more of a rain event, but the U.S. model said no, more of a snow event. Again, the European model got it right. As for tomorrow, so far about 124 flight cancellations. Back to you.
All right, Tom Costello starting us off at Dulles. We mentioned Front Royal, Virginia. Let's go there next. Weather Channel meteorologist Reynolds Wolf with us from there. Reynolds, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. And the amount of snowfall we've seen in this area has been anywhere from 12 to 17 inches of this incredibly thick, very, very heavy snow. And thing is, Brian, as this storm system makes its way a bit more to the northeast, many other places will be seeing this same type of snow. In fact, as we go to the graphic, you'll notice one place that will see a bullseye of this possibility will be just due west of Boston. In fact, Boston could see anywhere from 9, perhaps even 12 inches of snowfall over the next several hours and days. So certainly something to watch out. But keep in mind, Brian, that's only one component we're going to see with Winter Storm Saturn. As this system makes its way farther off the coast, we're going to see the residual effects of some very strong winds, some coastal flooding, all but a certainty from the Delmarva Peninsula all the way up to parts of the New England coastline. But by the weekend, that system will be deeper into the Atlantic, and that storm, as well as the snow, will be part of history.
Reynolds Wolf in Fort Royal, Virginia. Reynolds, thanks. Front Royal, rather. Now to air travel and the TSA's plan to change the rules back to before 9/11 and allow people to bring small knives on board aircraft. Flight attendants came out against this rule change yesterday. Then today, the air marshals slammed the decision. NBC's Pete Williams in our D.C. newsroom with more on this tonight. Pete?
Brian, some family members of people killed on 9/11 are saying they don't like the idea. In addition to the federal air marshals, the TSA announced yesterday that starting April 25th, airline passengers can carry on knives that have folding blades up to about 2 1/3 inches long, slightly more than the height of a dollar bill. Knives with longer or locking blades will still be banned, so will box cutters and razor blades. A representative for the nation's federal air marshals, who are responsible for in-flight security, describes them as being, quote, very upset, and says the decision puts them at greater risk. Relatives of some of the 9/11 victims say today that a pocket knife can be just as dangerous as a box cutter, and a group representing flight attendants says they plan to stage demonstrations when the plan kicks in next month, hoping to get it rolled back. But some security consultants call this a welcome change. They say it frees up screeners from having to search for pocket knives and allows them to concentrate on finding explosives instead. Brian?
Pete Williams in our Washington bureau tonight. Pete, thanks. Something is going on in Washington tonight that you don't see that often, something Jimmy Stewart made famous, a real live filibuster on the floor of the Senate. While not quite as cinematic or dramatic, this one all day has been led by Republican Senator Rand Paul of Kentucky. He has been talking on and off since 11:47 a.m. in order to delay a confirmation vote for the president's CIA nominee, John Brennan. He's been getting some help with his effort, other senators helping out. NBC's Kelly O'Donnell covering it all on the Hill tonight. Kelly, good evening.
Good evening, Brian. This is a Senate talkathon about drones. It's about pressuring the president to answer a question. Does the administration believe it has the legal authority to use deadly drone strikes inside the U.S. against an American? The Attorney General responded that the White House has no intention of using drones that way, but that was not definitive enough for Senator Paul.
I will speak as long as it takes until the alarm is sounded from coast to coast that our Constitution is important, that your rights to trial by jury are precious, that no American should be killed by a drone on American soil without first being charged with a crime.
A number of Republicans joined in, along with one Democrat. They say this is about protecting constitutional rights. Now, a couple of those protesting could ask the president directly tonight. Mr. Obama is dining out with a dozen Senate Republicans. They're going to talk budgets and other big issues, and they've never done that before. Brian?
Kelly O'Donnell on Capitol Hill tonight. Kelly, thanks. We now turn to health news tonight. New and extremely dangerous super germs that are showing up in hospitals across this country, other healthcare facilities, prompting some strong and alarming language from the CDC. We get our report tonight from our chief medical editor, Dr. Nancy Snyderman.
It's a silent threat lurking inside our nation's hospitals, a deadly class of superbugs that's nearly impossible to treat.
It's resistant to virtually all antibiotics. So when an individual gets this microbe and it invades the blood or invades tissue, curing them becomes very difficult.
And these bacteria are deadly, with a fatality rate approaching 50%. 42 states, 4% of short-stay hospitals, and 18% of long-term acute care facilities have reported problems. These outbreaks are called CRE infections because they're resistant to carbapenem, one of the most potent antibiotics available. So far, these outbreaks have been contained to hospitals and nursing homes, primarily infecting people with already compromised immune systems. The challenge is to keep these bacteria from reaching the general population. Montefiore Medical Center in New York City has been able to cut its CRE cases in half by testing all patients admitted to the critical care unit and isolating them from other patients. They have discovered many hospitals have been regularly and unknowingly transferring infected patients into their institution.
40% of the CRE I detected in the hospital could be accounted for by patients who were positive at the time they were admitted through my emergency room.
Perhaps most troubling is the potential for CRE-resistant bacteria to spread to patients with common ailments like diarrhea, urinary tract infections, and pneumonia, making those conditions untreatable with standard antibiotics.
It's an extremely potentially dangerous problem, but we have a window of opportunity to contain it.
And containing it is priority #1 right now because there are no new antibiotics in the pipeline, and the drug companies right now really don't have any treatments to offer us, Brian, for these lethal infections.
The next thing to worry about. Dr. Nancy, thank you, as always. Tonight, the UN Security Council is demanding the release of 20 of its peacekeepers taken hostage at gunpoint. A group claiming to be Syrian rebels said they had taken the hostages. They posted a video online. They say they will detain the UN peacekeepers until President Assad's forces withdraw from their town. Another sign of the chaos, the danger there. In Venezuela, a day after the death of President Hugo Chavez, a massive procession from one end of Caracas to the other took much of the day as his casket was moved from the hospital where he died to the military academy where his body will now lie in state until the funeral on Friday. Elections will likely be held now in the next 30 days. This is a big decision time for a nation sitting on top of so much oil. It's the 4th largest U.S. supplier. Still ahead for us tonight, the race factor in our nation's schools. For a lot of parents, this will be a surprise, students being held to lower standards based solely on the color of their skin. And later, the sad news today about one of the most beloved TV actresses of our era.
What kind of fancy drug did she serve?
I've seen incredible things, otherworldly things, but there are some things I've never seen before. This GE jet engine can understand 5,000 data samples per second, which is good for business, because planes use less fuel, spend less time on the ground, and more time in the air. Suddenly, faraway places don't seem so far away.
Pain not sitting too well, burning to feel better, itching for relief? Preparation H offers the most maximum strength solutions for all hemorrhoid symptoms. From the brand doctors recommend most, Preparation H. Don't stand for hemorrhoids.
My insurance rates are probably going to double.
But Dad, you've got
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
This is the story of Thomas and the alternate universe. Every evening, at exactly 6:07, District Manager Thomas M. Wilkes stepped into a rather different world. This world did not abide by the rational humdrum rules of the one we live in. There, within his grasp, lay the power to make anything happen. But then, nothing was happening. Sometimes inspiration comes slowly. Sometimes it comes as fast as a stampede from a world far beyond anything. My name is Thomas M. Wilkes, humble creator of an alternate universe. Ultrabook inspired by Intel with Intel Core processors.
Education Nation is proudly supported by the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, a partner with communities where children come first.
In the world of education, it's called the achievement gap, the disparity in the academic performance of kids in groups defined by income and race or ethnicity. There have been a lot of efforts to make things right and even things up, including schools that are chasing a federal standard for all students. in ways that might even surprise some parents. Our report tonight from our chief education correspondent, Rahima Ellis.
Diallo hopes to be an explorer.
Jungles.
Kari, perhaps a scientist.
Biologist.
Two 9-year-olds with big dreams in fourth-grade classrooms just feet apart, seen differently in the eyes of the state because of the color of their skin. That's because Black and Hispanic students have been trailing white students on standardized tests for years. To close that achievement gap, Congress passed the sweeping No Child Left Behind Act in 2001, mandating every student test at grade level by 2014, or schools risk being shut down.
100% of our students in 100% of our schools had to be proficient in mathematics and reading. Under that criteria, by the end of this school year, all of our schools would have been labeled as failing.
So many applied for waivers.
We worked on it for 6 months.
Allowing states to keep federal funding if they meet certain benchmarks. Of the 35 granted, the majority include different academic targets for different races. In Washington, D.C., for example, 71% of Black and 77% of Hispanic students need to be proficient in math by 2017, compared to 94% of white students.
The intention in closing the achievement gap is the right one. We want to see that gap close, but lowering expectations for students of color is not the answer and sends the wrong message.
Some parents who find the targets troublesome say they understand the reasoning behind them.
It can sound like different standards, but hopefully what it is looking at where people are and bringing them up to the same standard.
Diallo Woods and his sisters attend D.C. public schools. While their parents support efforts to close the achievement gap, Nicole, also a teacher, finds the targets unsettling.
I'm not saying to myself, listen, this is what the white kids can do and this is what you can do. I would never do that to my children. And so to hold them to a bar that says you're only going to make it this far, that's discriminatory.
The superintendent of D.C. Public Schools says that's not the case.
The target for everyone is the same, which is a 50% increase in proficiency.
Some educators believe race-based targets focus attention on the uncomfortable reality that for generations, education hasn't always been equal for kids of different races. They say these targets help get resources to those who need them most.
Regardless of race, income, or socioeconomic status.
Don't leave those children out.
Exactly.
Educators, though, warn against mistaking short-term goals for long-term expectations.
We expect 100% from all of our kids, and so that is a goal that we hold and that we ask our staff to hold to.
What is
to reach that goal, schools are providing extra support, including after-school tutoring.
The more I practice it, the better I get.
And it's one step toward helping all children achieve their full potential. Educators we spoke with say these race-based targets are necessary for now, and they are perhaps an imperfect approach to fixing a problem that has been decades in the making, Brian.
What an interesting and important story in education tonight. Rahima, thank you, as always. We're back in a moment with a very famous American name looking for a new home.
It's a new day. If you're a man with low testosterone, you should know that Axiron is here, the only underarm treatment for low T. That's right, the one you apply to the underarm. Axiron is not for use in women or anyone younger than 18. Axiron can transfer to others through direct contact. Women, especially those who are or who may become pregnant, and children should avoid contact where Axiron is applied, as unexpected signs of puberty in children or changes in body hair or increased acne in women may occur. Report these signs and symptoms to your doctor if they occur. Tell your doctor about all medical conditions and medications. Do not use if you have prostate or breast cancer. Serious side effects could include increased risk of prostate cancer, worsening prostate symptoms, decreased sperm count, ankle, feet, or body swelling, enlarged or painful breasts, problems breathing while sleeping, and blood clots in the legs. Common side effects include skin redness or irritation where applied, increased red blood cell count, headache, diarrhea, vomiting, and increase in PSA. See your doctor, and for a 30-day free trial, go to Axiron.com.
Before Allegra, my allergies kept me from enjoying Kate's Big Moments. After Allegra, that all changed.
The power of Allegra. It relieves your toughest symptoms on the toughest pollen days. Only Allegra is both fast and non-drowsy. Allegra. Stop suffering. Start living.
Ringing in the ears used to bother me a lot, especially at quiet times. Then my doctor told me lipoflavonoid improves inner ear circulation to help relieve the ringing. She was so right. Lipoflavonoid, #1 doctor recommended to relieve ringing in the ears.
Hey, it's me, Progressive Insurance. You know, from our 4,000 television commercials. Yep, there I am with Flo. Watch it. Anywho, 3 million people switched to me last year, saving an average of $475. Oh, it feels good to help people save. With great discounts like Safe Driver, Multi-Car, and Multi-Policy. So call me today. You'll be glad you did. Cannon box!
Listen up. Every year, hundreds of promising cancer studies go unfunded. Let's make sure that no research is silenced. Let's make noise, and let's help the American Cancer Society finish the fight.
Both Tylenol and Bayer Advanced Aspirin are proven to be effective pain relievers. Tylenol works by blocking pain signals to your brain. Bayer Advanced Aspirin blocks pain at the site. Try the power of Bayer Advanced Aspirin.
He's so cute. Really?
Let's move him.
What are you doing?
Well, back in my day, this was the only way we could hear the novela of our papa snoring. Whatever. We'll be in the patio. Can you bring us the popcorn?
The wireless receiver, only from AT&T. Get UVerse TV for just $19 a month for 1 year when you bundle TV and internet. Rethink possible.
Mitt Romney's going back to work. He's taken a job for his son Tag Romney's private equity firm in Boston. He'll be helping out about a week every month, they say, mostly as a rainmaker, bringing in business and generating funds for the firm. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabby Giffords today went back to the Safeway supermarket where she was shot. She appeared with her husband, spoke just 15 words to the crowd, but delivered a powerful message just by being there in support of expanded background checks for gun buyers. That shooting in Tucson by Jared Loeffner was just over 2 years ago now. Giffords' husband repeated he and his wife are both gun owners and strong supporters of the Second Amendment. 6 people were killed in front of that supermarket, 13 wounded, including the Congresswoman. Time Warner appears to be getting rid of Time magazine, the cornerstone of the Henry Luce media empire. The company, now of course mostly electronic media, is, according to the New York Times, spinning off all of its magazines, including Time, Fortune, Sports Illustrated. It's unclear what will happen to the company name once Time is gone from Time Warner. Very sad news today, as we mentioned, about the actress Valerie Harper, so well known to a generation of TV viewers as Rhoda Morgenstern on the old Mary Tyler Moore Show, and later on her own spin-off show. She's told People magazine she's dealing with a rare and aggressive terminal brain cancer. Her doctors say she has just months to live. She made the discovery when her jaw went numb during rehearsals for her one-woman show back in January. She already battled lung cancer in '09. She hopes her case will at least focus more attention on cancer research. Valerie Harper is 73 years old. Lots of hubbub in the UK over a supposed slip of the tongue by the expectant Kate Middleton. She was on a walkabout in the northern English town of Grimsby when she was given a teddy bear. She said thanks, and it sounded to those present like she started to say she would give it to her daughter. In truth, she maybe started to form the letter D. That was enough for the media to go crazy. She later said, "Oh, no, I'm sure we don't know," meaning the sex of the baby. The day was also notable for this because it left us with this fantastic photo of a little kid doing what little kids do when they talk to a duchess. When we come back, the spectacular light show over the bay, the largest of its kind on Earth.
We know all your investments may not be with Fidelity, but we can still help you see your big picture. With the Fidelity Guided Portfolio Summary, you choose which accounts to track and use Fidelity's analytics to spot trends, gain insights, and figure out what you want to do next, all in one place. I'm Meredith Stoddard, and I helped create the Fidelity Guided Portfolio Summary. It's one more innovative reason serious investors are choosing Fidelity.
Now get 200 free trades when you open an account.
My wife takes Centrum Silver. I've been on the fence about it.
Then I read an article about a study that looked at the long-term health benefits of taking multivitamins. They used Centrum Silver for the study, so I guess my wife was right.
Centrum, always your most complete.
Well, the cold or flu, nighttime nasal congestion can be the worst part. My medicine alone doesn't always give me all the congestion relief I need to sleep.
Adding Breathe Right nasal strips can make all the difference. It instantly relieves nasal congestion symptoms caused by cold and flu.
And because it's drug-free, it's safe to use with any medicine to relieve my nighttime stuffy nose, so I can breathe better and sleep better.
Go to breatheright.com for special offers.
Switch to Swiffer 360 Duster Extender, and you'll dump your old duster. But don't worry, he'll find someone else.
Who's that lady? Who's that lady? Sexy lady.
Swiffer 360 Duster Extender cleans high and low with thick all-around fibers that attract and lock up to 2 times more dust than a feather duster. Swiffer gives cleaning a whole new meaning. And now Swiffer Dusters refills are available with a fresh scent of gain.
So, you say men are superior drivers?
Yeah.
Then how'd I get this?
Safe driving bonus check. Every 6 months without an accident, Allstate sends a check. Okay. Silence. Are you in good hands?
Won the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes.
Watch your mail for the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes or go to PCH.com and enter. This April 30th, you could win $1 million every year for life.
Could a trip to the hospital leave you open to identity theft?
The information is there someplace. You get these hackers who can manipulate almost everything.
The Team 6 investigators look into security breaches at hospitals and what you can do to protect yourself. All new at 11.
Finally tonight, San Francisco is beautiful pretty much any day from any angle, and the Golden Gate Bridge is really the symbol that has come to define the place. But then there's that other, much larger bridge, the Bay Bridge, that's been kind of an industrial-looking little brother all these years. Well, it just entered a new era. Our report tonight from NBC's Gabe Gutierrez.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This was no ordinary countdown. It was the end of 75 years in shadows. Last night, San Francisco's Bay Bridge transformed into what's being billed as the world's largest LED light sculpture.
It's beautiful. Yeah, it's really well done.
They're gorgeous. They're amazing. They're kind of breathtaking.
The Bay Bridge opened to much fanfare in 1936.
It was recognized as an engineering marvel and an amazing American feat as we were coming through the Great Depression.
But 6 months later, the flashier Golden Gate Bridge came along with its red-painted steel, and it swiped all the attention. Ever since, though it carries more than twice as much annual traffic, the Bay Bridge has wallowed in drab obscurity, known as little more than a bad place to be in an earthquake.
The upper deck collapsing.
To finally change that, enter artist Leo Villarreal, celebrated for light sculptures in New York and Washington, D.C. For his latest project called The Bay Lights, Villarreal is using 25,000 white bulbs controlled on his laptop.
The inspiration comes from all the kinetic activity found around the bridge, the movement of water, traffic.
The cost to install and operate the display over the next 2 years is an estimated $8 million, paid for by private donors here in the Bay Area. At Chaya Brasserie, it was a full house for the bridge's opening night. The manager hopes the added exposure lights up his business.
Bringing so many tourists into the area, it's just, the potential is endless, really.
In a city that prides itself on bright ideas, this one stands out. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, San Francisco.
So from the East Coast to the West, that is our broadcast for this Wednesday night. Thank you for being here with us. I'm Brian Williams, and we hope to see you right back here tomorrow night. Good night.